What's up, guys and gals, and welcome to Veve Vibes, where I love talking all things Veve NFTs, speculation, and of course the market. So, as you guys can tell, I'm still traveling for the holidays, which is why everything looks and sounds very differently than my normal setup, but it's not going to stop me from making videos for you guys in the meantime. So, the concept I had for this video was a little over a month ago. I actually watched NFT Jeremy's video on will the new queue system actually stop bots? That's an awesome video, as well as Taps Trade's most recent video talking about the roadmap Veve has all throughout 2022. And in that video, he actually mentions that Veve does have a plan to release the new queue/waiting room system. I'm not exactly sure what they're going to call it. I might use those two words interchangeably throughout this video at some point in Q1. We're not exactly sure when, but that's kind of the general gist of the plan. So I kind of got those ideas for here. And I really think this video is going to more focus on how the new queue system is actually going to affect the market and less so bots and all that kind of stuff, as NFT Jeremy talked about. Neither of us are trying to spread any FUD or anything like that. Some of this is speculation, but I do think a good portion of this will just strictly be raw number crunching, and I think there's not much to argue with that at the end of the day. So anyway, here it is, the top 3 reasons why I think the market is going to completely flip on its head when the new queue system drops. All right, and reason number 1 is that people are simply going to have less chances to win these drops. Now, this is for a couple different reasons. The first one is that, quite simply, there's going to be more people on the app 1, 2, 3, 4 months from now, whenever Veve actually implements this new queue system. There's just going to be more people on the app, thus resulting in more competition. I think that's pretty obvious, and that's pretty much the absolute truth of Veve. There's always more people going to be wanting to jump on the app, take advantage of this awesome community, and make some money with these NFTs at the end of the day. The other reason is that people are actually going to be able to, with this new opt-in system, or I should say the new queue system, is that people are actually going to be able to opt in 5 minutes prior to the drop rather than needing to be completely available and put 110% of their attention and focus on the app within that 3-second window, because you pretty much need to be there that exact moment when that number hits 3210. You need to be right there. I can't tell you how many times some of my friends missed out on a drop because they had some sort of real life emergency happen, or a duty or work related thing that they had needed to handle during that exact moment, and they needed to shut down their phone. People do miss out on those, but now that there's a 5-minute opt-in window, it doesn't sound like a whole lot of extra people, but that could just create more competition across the board. And again, I actually just crunched some numbers at the end of the day, and if there was a 60K edition drop, which doesn't happen too frequently, it's mostly with comics, but they have done it a couple times with like Storm and Groot and some collectibles. But if there is a 60K edition drop and we have 500,000 entries, which I think is not high by any means, according to the current statistics of Veve and how many people are actually active on the platform, you only have a 12% chance to win that drop with 1 phone. If you increase that to 2 phones, it's roughly 22%. If you do 3 phones, I think it's like 29 to 30%. I don't know if my numbers are 100% exact on that, but it sounds about right to me. Where basically there are some people that have gotten so good at the platform where those numbers actually sound very, very, very low. But to some of you guys, it might sound high, and you guys are excited for this new drop thing. But again, those are just kind of like the raw numbers, and I don't think there's much you can kind of argue with the fact that overall people are just going to be winning these drops less often. All right, that actually leads me up to my reason number 2, which is that there are so many people in the community that have gotten so good at mastering these drops, doing all the align gates and timing and all that kind of stuff, and perfect internet and all that stuff, where they actually rely on these drops like week over week as a steady means of income. They know, hey, if I put 60 gems in with this drop, I'll probably get 100 gems or 200 gems out on the other end. So they just rely on this as a steady means of income. You guys know what I mean when you guys are hanging out in these like Discord chats or YouTube streams or the Twitter kind of hangouts and stuff like that, where there's a lot of people that will be shouting their wins, and it seems to be the same names over and over and over again. Someone will win 3 drops and get a rebound, or they'll get 1 drop and 3 rebounds between their 3 or 4 phones. It happens all the time. And all of a sudden, now if you actually change up the game, now what happens? Now, in my opinion, what I think is going to happen to these people that win these drops on a constant basis, like week over week, they're going to have to find new ways to earn gems. And in my opinion, there's only 2 ways to do that. One, you either learn how to play the secondary market and learn to flip these gems on an extremely short-term basis, like multiple times within an hour or even shorter than that. Some of these people are doing these already, but some people, they might just win the drops and not even bother with the secondary market. If they're not playing the secondary market right now, they will definitely learn how to do it pretty soon. And I think the second way they do it, basically how to earn more gems, is now they consolidate all of their earnings or their portfolio, and they're going to have to invest in blue chip NFTs instead. Because I do think these people that do have a consistent form of income, basically by winning these drops on a consistent basis, is they tend to take on, I would imagine, riskier NFT purchases, maybe lower mints, lesser known NFTs, and just kind of hope they pay off over the long term, or they might do a long-term hold. But now that their steady form of income is gone, they might actually do a massive sell-off of these more riskier NFTs and start investing into more things like longer-term blue chips, or might just want to stock up for more raw gems, because now that they aren't guaranteed to win the drops anymore, they might have to just play the not guaranteed, but the secondary market, because now something that costed 6 gems on the drop, they didn't win. Now they might have to pay 2,000 gems on the back end on the secondary market to actually secure that NFT. I think this, as well as the first reason, are going to be the biggest contributors why the market is going to get shaken up in a really, really big way when the queue system gets introduced. Because as of right now, we have people winning 1, 2, 3, 4 times per drop. But imagine if you only win 1 or 2 times per month. How is that going to affect the market? All right, and last but not least, and number 3, and I think this is actually a silver lining for everyone, which is that the new Veve users, as well as like the less experienced traders, are actually going to be able to win these Veve drops more often, which I think is nice. I think whether it's due to slow internet or they just haven't memorized all the nuances of blind box versus common drops versus comics and collectibles and all that stuff, they actually have a chance to win, which is nice. But unfortunately, unbeknownst to them, just because they're less experienced traders, they just don't know or they haven't done their research, I do think we will see a significant increase in mislistings on the secondary market. We will see a lot of secret rares get put up for 1.3 gems instead of 1,300 gems. We might see people, the common floor is at 50 gems. For whatever reason, they might just list it slightly above the box price of, like, say, a comic at like 8 gems instead of 50 gems. For whatever reason, people still do it even to today. But I think now that we're going to have more new users or more of these less experienced traders actually winning these drops, we could actually see a lot more of these mislistings happen in the secondary market more than usual, which is why I would hope that with the introduction of this new queue system is that Veve is going to kind of put more of their effort and energy of the anti-botting system more in the secondary market, because I've said this from the beginning. I do think botting is an issue on the initial drop, but I think it's even more of an issue on the secondary market than it is on the initial drop, at least in my personal opinion, because it's so much easier for them to gobble up all those NFTs in the secondary market than the initial drop. I mean, they can only do so much. And now that with the queue system basically removing the issue of bots, I mean, you can always buy more phones and all that stuff, as I mentioned before, but in the secondary market, it's going to be very vulnerable to that. And especially with those mislistings that are going to be happening with less experienced traders, I really hope Veve kind of just double or triples down on kind of focusing on the secondary market and trumping a lot of those bots in that system rather than the initial opening system, which is basically going to get removed with the new queue system that they're going to implement. And that's pretty much it, guys. I actually want to leave you guys with a few different comments as well as questions, not to spread any FUD or anything like that, of course, but again, I do think the math checks out, and a lot of the speculation, I just think the dots just simply connect that when this new queue system arrives, the whole market will just get flipped on its head. And I think the first thing is that for all of you people that look at a 60K edition or like a mint drop and you guys look at it on your phone and be like, oh, I usually always win these, I'm not too worried about it. What if I told you now your chance to win of those are now 12%? And for all of you people that typically win 1 to 3 times per drop on a very consistent basis, like drop after drop after drop, what if I told you now your likelihood of winning instead of 1 to 3 per drop is now 2 to 3 per month? Would that change your trading strategy at all? And now with that being said, now that basically people are winning the initial drops less often, how aggressive is that secondary market going to look like? But if before you guys thought the market and certain NFTs were just flying off the shelves, now imagine 2 to 3 times more people trying to compete on the secondary market because now they didn't win the initial drop at all. So I'm just going to leave you guys with that. I'd love to hear you guys' comments down below on what you guys think the repercussions, or I should say the fallout, the benefits, the negatives, whatever it's going to be, down in the comments below about the new queue system or the wait room system, whatever you guys want to call it, down in the comments below. I'd love to hear your guys' feedback going forward. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you guys take care, and I'll catch you on the flip side.